Hello viewers. We are about to watch an emotional story about love and misunderstandings between two families, where the genuine love of James and Deep not only faces challenges from within themselves but also from the concerns of their loved ones. Will their love be strong enough to overcome the doubts from Deep's mother? What helped the two families gradually come closer after the meeting between James' mother and Deep's mother? Can Deep's mother's worries be resolved as she begins to understand the true love James has for Deep? Will the two families find common ground to build a harmonious, loving future? This story raises questions about love, family, and understanding. Don't miss this journey to explore the changes in mutual understanding between the two families, and witness how James and Deep's love continues to evolve. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more touching and interesting stories in the future. After a long time living abroad, James' mother finally decided to return to Vietnam. The distance between her and her son could not easily be erased, especially since James had decided to marry Deep, a girl that she truly liked. However, even though they had held a wedding with the joy of friends and family, Deep's mother had not fully accepted this love yet. The rumors from the neighbors about Deep leaving her ex-husband to marry the wealthy CEO James made her suspicious. Deep's mother feared that her daughter might have simply accepted a marriage with James for his wealth and power, rather than for true love. James' mother could not sit idly by, seeing her son living with such anxiety. She knew that these misunderstandings needed to be cleared up, and a direct conversation with Deep's mother was necessary. Although she understood that societal prejudices could make things more complicated, she believed that James and Deep's genuine love could overcome all obstacles. She was determined to find a way to bring her son and Deep's family together. And this meeting with Deep's mother was the first step in resolving all the concerns. One afternoon, as the cool autumn breeze gently blew through the window, James' mother sat quietly in her room, holding a cup of tea and staring out the window. She thought about James, the early days when he left Vietnam, carrying with him dreams and hopes for the future. The two of them had been separated for many years, and now, as James had grown up, she worried about his next steps in life. Even though James was a successful man, she could not help but worry about his choices, especially when there were so many doubts coming from Deep's family. Does he really love Deep? James' mother wondered to herself. She knew her son to be considerate, always willing to sacrifice for the person he loved, but she still had concerns. Even though James was the CEO of a large company, she feared that Deep might be drawn to the glamour of a rich life, rather than loving him for who he truly was. One day, after returning home from a meeting, James' mother decided to call him. Her voice held some worry as she spoke. "James, are you sure about your decision? I just want you to be happy, but I am so worried." James, on the other end of the line, was not surprised to hear the concern in his mother's voice. He knew how much she cared about him, but he also wanted her to understand that his love for Deep was not based on material things or fame. "Mom, I really love Deep. I know she might face many criticisms from others, but Deep and I have been through a lot together. I don't love her because of money or status. I love her because she is the only one who makes my life meaningful. Mom, please trust me." James' mother fell silent for a while, then sighed, her voice softening. "Do you really love her, James? I just want you to live a life of happiness, not because of money but for something deeper." "Mom, I know. But you also need to understand that love isn't always about material things. Deep and I have built our relationship from the simplest things. Don't worry, Mom." Hearing her son's words, James' mother felt a little lighter. However, she still knew that there were unresolved issues, especially when she recalled the rumors she had heard about Deep. She felt it was necessary to meet Deep's mother to better understand the woman her son loved. A decision had formed in James' mother's heart. She knew that meeting with Deep's mother was essential, not only to clear up any doubts but also to better understand the things she did not yet know. She wanted to prove to Deep's mother that James loved Deep with sincerity, not for any material reasons. Deep's mother will understand. My son's love is genuine. I need to clarify everything, James' mother thought to herself, deciding that this meeting would be the first step in resolving the concerns that had been weighing on her heart. The meeting between the two women took place in a tense atmosphere, but there was also a sense of caution. Both had their own concerns, and they knew that this conversation would not be easy. Deep's mother looked at James' mother with a gaze full of skepticism. Even though she knew Deep and James loved each other sincerely, she still couldn't help but worry about her daughter. "I can understand your concerns, but I can't help but ask, does James truly love Deep, or is she just part of some other plan?" Deep's mother spoke up, her hands tightly clasped. "I have witnessed many relationships, and not everyone can overcome challenges. Not everyone is ready to sacrifice for true love." James' mother sighed, looking at Deep's mother with understanding. She knew that these worries were not without reason. Sometimes, we love our children so much that we worry excessively, but love also requires trust. I know you're worried about your daughter, but I can assure you of one thing, James loves Deep for the qualities she has. My son has found in Deep a true life partner, someone with whom he can share all the joys, sorrows, and everything life brings. Deep sat beside her mother, her eyes downcast, but her heart was racing with anxiety. She knew her mother only wanted what was best for her, but sometimes, she felt that her mother's overprotectiveness made it hard to see things from her perspective. Deep looked at her mother and gently said, "Mom, I truly love James. I didn't marry him because of his fame or anything other than love. I've been with him through his difficulties, his failures, and I know he has always stood by me, no matter what." Deep's mother still couldn't shake off her worries. She looked at her daughter with compassion, but deep down, she wasn't fully convinced by what she had heard. "My daughter, I just want you to find someone who will truly make you happy, not just because of external reasons. I don't want you to face challenges that you might not be prepared for. James' mother listened carefully to Deep's mother's words, and she understood that these questions weren't without merit. After all, she had experienced many years of marriage herself, and she knew that love wasn't just about words, it was also about actions, sacrifice, and care for each other. Deep's mother, I believe that James and Deep have been through many challenges to be together. Not everyone can overcome difficulties in love, but they've managed to do so. I believe their love is a natural choice, not influenced by anything other than genuine feelings from the heart. After hearing these sincere words from James' mother, the atmosphere in the room gradually began to soften. Deep's mother sat quietly, reflecting on what she had just heard. Her doubts weren't completely gone, but at least she could sense the sincerity and the love between James and Deep. She realized that allowing her daughter to make her own choices was one of the most important things. Deep's mother sighed softly, her gaze growing gentler. I've heard too many pieces of advice, too many stories about happiness and sacrifice. But perhaps, my daughter needs to live in the love she feels is right for her. If my daughter is happy, then I will accept it. Deep smiled gently, feeling like a heavy weight had been lifted from her heart. She knew that her mother still had some worries, but at least now, her mother saw her relationship with James in a different light. James' mother felt a sense of relief as well, knowing that while misunderstandings and worries couldn't be resolved overnight, this was an important first step for both families to better understand each other. As the meeting ended, both mothers felt like they had taken a step closer toward each other, with understanding, empathy, and hope that the love between James and Deep would bring their families closer together. After the meeting with Deep's mother, James' mother returned home with many thoughts swirling in her mind. She felt that, while things couldn't change overnight, at least there had been an important step forward. Deep's mother, despite still having many concerns, had started to look at the love between James and Deep in a gentler way. She knew that there was still much to be done for both families to fully understand and accept each other. But today, at least, she felt a glimmer of hope had been ignited. The James family gathered around the dinner table. Looking at her son, James' mother spoke gently, "James, I've been thinking a lot about the conversation today. I feel that Deep's mother has made some small changes, but she is still very worried about your future together." James looked at his mother and nodded. He knew his mother cared deeply for him and Deep, but he also understood that Deep's mother only wanted to protect her daughter. "I understand, Mom." Deep said she talked to her mom, and I think she's starting to open up more. Although her mom is still worried, I can tell she's not as resentful as before. James' mother smiled softly, leaning back in her chair. "I hope so. But James, you need to be patient. Deep's mother has had her doubts for a long time. She can't change her mind overnight." James nodded, fully understanding the difficulty. I'll be patient. Deep and I know that changing someone's mind takes time. We'll always be there for each other, no matter what her mom thinks. Looking at her son with pride, James' mother said, I believe you two will get through this. You're a good man, James. And so is Deep. The most important thing is your love for each other. As long as you two keep that love intact, everything will be fine. Just then, James' phone rang. It was Deep. He quickly answered the call, and Deep's soothing voice came through the phone. My love, I just spoke with my mom. She seems to understand us a bit more now. Really? Did she say anything else? James asked, feeling anxious. I told her about the challenges we've been through together. She doesn't doubt you anymore, but she's still concerned about our future, Deep replied gently. She still loves me, but maybe she needs more time to fully accept everything. James smiled, feeling a sense of relief. You know, Mom said the same thing. She said Deep's mom will gradually understand. We just need to be patient and keep loving each other, and your mom will see our true love. James' mother listened to their conversation, her eyes filled with emotion. You hear that, James? You and Deep need to be persistent. No matter how difficult it is, real love will overcome everything. Deep's mother will understand. James thanked his mother and then continued talking to Deep. They discussed their future plans, the steps they would take together. They both understood that there would still be many challenges ahead, but they also believed that as long as they kept loving and understanding each other, things would get easier over time. The next day, James' mother visited Deep's home again. This was the second time she had met with Deep's mother since James and Deep had married. This time, the atmosphere in the room was much more relaxed. James' mother brought a bouquet of fresh flowers as a small gesture to bridge the remaining gaps between the two families. Hello, Deep's mother, I brought some flowers for you, James' mother smiled as she handed over the bouquet. Deep's mother took the flowers, her eyes softening with emotion. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I know you've always cared for your son, and I also want things to improve between our two families. James' mother looked at her, and then spoke gently, Deep's mother, I believe that no matter how difficult things are, we can get through it. The love between James and Deep is the most important thing, and I'm confident that if we always support and understand each other, everything will be fine. Deep's mother looked into James' mother's eyes and nodded. I hope so. Even though I'm still worried, I want Deep and James to be happy. I believe their love will help us understand each other more. Both mothers smiled, for the first time truly sensing a mutual understanding between them. The worries gradually began to dissolve, and while things weren't completely easy yet, at least the two families had started to find common ground to build a harmonious future.